Greetings, Guardians, my name is Byfear. So I know that the raid is coming in hot and we're going to be looking at getting a ton of raid content out to all of you after I've completed it and taken the necessary time to make my assessment. Today I wanted to work a little on telling you all a little bit more about what's going on in the Season of Defiance though. The season is probably going to be a little bit shorter. It's going to be like the Season of the Risen, that is to say, it's going to be around about 5-6 weeks probably, and that of course is owing to the fact that it's being released alongside a big expansion, Lightfall. If we are looking at what story that's going to tell us though, the pressure is on Season of the Defiance to make up for some of the failures of Lightfall's campaign. So there is a lot more pressure than usual, and there's actually some compelling mysteries that it can at least start to answer. When and how it's going to lead us into the next season is my biggest question. The actual gameplay side of this season presents a much more compelling activity for us to partake in. During the Defiant Battlegrounds, we're working to invade pyramid temple complexes that have been created across Earth. As we do this, we're rescuing prisoners that have been held within the complexes for unknown reasons. It's those unknown reasons that I think we're going to really dive into as the season goes on, and I sure do have many peculiar questions about that. This may be one of the center points of the season's story. It's also worth noting that whatever this is, it must be important, because it's worth remembering that Season of Defiance is that first narrative push into the story of this year which ultimately leads us to the final shape. So whatever's going on in these temples matters, it's just not clear why. The seasonal story this time does carry a whole lot of weight, and there is a lot going on that needs to happen within the space of 5 or 6 weeks. Having said that, thus far this second week of story is going to take a back seat, considering that Root of Nightmares is probably going to take the front row spot. More on that tomorrow and later in this video, of course. For now, let's talk about the Season of Defiance properly, and explain what has been going on since the beginning. Of course, all of the events of the season start with us essentially losing the battle in high orbit to the Witness. After it claimed the Traveler, it was clear that the focus of the Coalition needed to be rallying together. The Cabal Ascendancy, Awoken of the Reef, Eliksni House of Light, and Guardians of the Last City all gathered at Earth, above the city's defenses. As an assembled fleet, they were able to keep this one location safe by sheer weight of numbers. However, the rest of humanity and even the Eliksni who called Earth home were under threat. The Shadow Legion and the Pyramid Fleet were able to maintain control of the Traveler in high orbit long enough for the Witness to connect with the Veil, opening the gateway that it did on the Traveler's side, connecting it to who knows where, and somehow making a step closer to the final shape. We don't understand a lot about what happened, but we do know quite clearly that this was a loss. The Shadow Legion, however, seemed to be content to only drive this point closer to home, because whilst a portion of their fleet did go to Neptune alongside the Typhon Imperator, a large portion of their fleet is still stationed on Earth and is making the Witness's agenda known. These Shadow Legion forces are rounding up prisoners on Earth. The first group rescued would include the well-known shipmaster and ace pilot Amanda Holliday. Again, it's worth noting that at current the reasons for capturing these prisoners is unknown, but these civilians are being held up in a pyramid complex that is impervious to our assaults in the physical world. Crow works to probe the barrier surrounding the pyramid multiple times and doesn't get in. But luckily for us, we have someone amongst our forces who is able to level the playing field. Enter Queen Mara Sov and the Awoken, who would see us all united as defenders of Sol. She anointed us, the Eliksni, and the human defenders of the system as her Queen's Guard. To us Guardians, she gave Ascendant Scepters, this season's artifact. It's also something that seems to come with a newfound respect for us Guardians, and perhaps this makes sense. For the longest time, Mara has regarded Lightbearers as blunt and somewhat untrustworthy, maybe even unpredictable, but above all, beholden to the Traveler. It is because of our new powers of darkness that she respects us. As Queen of the Awoken, she is born from both light and darkness, and wields both of them. Now, we do as well, and have embraced a greater truth of the universe. The darkness and light are not evil and good or binary forces, but they are a part of greater spheres of paracausal power. It is the true enemy that we face, the witness that should be our true focus as an enemy, and our loyalty should not necessarily be to the Traveler, but instead should be to the people that we're trying to defend, those we fight alongside, each other. Using Mara's power, we're able to cast ourselves from the material plane into the Ascendant plane. In doing so, we can push past the Pyramid Complex's defenses, which are stable within our material realm, but easily subverted within the Ascendant plane, and thus infiltrate them from within. Upon our successful rescue, we were able to recover Amanda Holliday, and then she had a little reunion with Crow.
Hey, Guardian. Thanks for your help back there. Just need to clear out this...
Ow. Nice shot. Right through the heart.
Thanks.
Sorry. We thought you were Shadow Legion.
Easy mistake. I'm just so beefy. You're leaving again? Don't you ever slow down?
Nope, not when there's work to be done.
Amanda! When your ship... I thought I might never see you again.
No time for that kind of talk. I'm here now. Let's get moving.
With all the commotion done, we regroup at our temporary base of operations, an old haunt left out in the wastes, now in the process of being restored. The EDZ's original sanctuary, the farm. Here we meet with the leaders of the ground game to recover the people of Earth, be they human, awoken, Exo, or Elixni, Mithrax, Mara Sov, and Devrim Kay. Mara also took the time to officially knight us as one of her Queen's Guard. Take a look.
Hello, Guardian. Good to see you again. Wish it were under better circumstances. I don't believe we've met. Devrim Kay, Velasque.
Velasque, I am Mithrax, Kell of the House of Light.
I'd heard the Vanguard had Elixni allies in the city. Good to have you here.
Yes, many have come to the Vanguard's aid. Mara Kell is using her light to protect us.
Kell, there is no need for honorifics. And my power is not of the light.
Afraid we must cut the pleasantries short. In the aftermath of the attack on the Traveler, the Shadow Legion has begun taking captives to the pyramids.
Amanda Holliday is... We cannot reach her on any frequency.
Holliday is out there. Of that I'm certain. I'll continue scanning the comms. Knowing her, she's up to something. The only question is what precisely. Give me a moment to prepare the LZ, and I'll brief you. Until then.
Together, we will save the captives and Amanda. The light provides.
You will need more than the light to stand against the witness. But I can provide. Now go, and I will focus on the battles to come. When the last city called for aid, I pledged the Awoken to the cause without hesitation. The Vanguard has helped my people many times in the past. But what you face now is no simple, endless curse or vengeful god king. We Awoken were first struck when we came between the Traveler and its hunter, and I chose my people above either one. The choice has come again, and my answer is no different. I do not blindly defend the light, and I do not listen to the voice in the darkness. Instead, I choose that which holds light and dark together in hands and heart. I choose you. Now, humans, exos, cousins all, detach. Fall forward. Number among the first. Awaken. As Queensguard.
From here, our mission has remained mostly the same. There are more prisoners that are consistently being rounded up, and we need to make sure that we can free them as quickly as possible. After a week, another prison would appear on the coast of the Cosmodrome in the Dry Sea. This prison, too, would be infiltrated using similar techniques, although the Scion who was responsible for holding the captives was able to push back against Mara somewhat. Regardless, our work to free the prisoners was successful, even if the Scion baited many clever traps for us, and was able to cast us back into the Ascendant Plane every once in a while. Now, that's most of what the seasonal story has presented to us thus far. It's a stable foundation, but there are a few story threads that I think we definitely need to start asking questions about. First of all, why are the people of Earth being taken to these prison pyramids in the first place, and not simply being killed? It would make a greater degree of sense from the perspective of the sword logic to just kill the people, and it makes it clear that this is something different. There is something else going on that the Witness has use for with these people in mind. There is a reason why they're being held captive, and at current, that reason remains unclear. But whatever it is, it cannot be good. Next, I think we need to think about what part Mithrax and Devrim will play in this story. In the lore, and by their own admission in person, they seem to be just kind of part of the group for the sake of unity for the Coalition, and they feel a little bit out of place compared to Guardians. Perhaps that is all that they do. They show us that under fire, we as Guardians of the people, and as the people who are those with only one life to give, there is indeed a chance for all of us to show our worth and to be a part of something greater. There is something bigger in store for them perhaps, but maybe their entire presence within the story is simply to remind us that we're all in this together. The final question I have is whether there's a chance for us to see some character relationships being grown or mended. This is a good opportunity for Mara Sov and Crow to build back bridges towards a healthier relationship as siblings. I see a relationship between Devrim and Mithrax growing. They have been adversaries in the sense that both have been ruthless in the destruction of the other's kind for a very long time, and now they're fighting on the same side as warriors who've been fighting the same war for so long that peace presents an interesting proposition, one that is troubling in many respects to some of them. This, I think, is the side of the story that shows how Eliksni and human relationships can be built into something, how we will eventually see our species existing side by side. Their relationship is one which I would take a close look at, because if they do develop into strong companions, much like Saint did with Mithrax, then this is indicative of, I think, the greater relationship between humanity and the Eliksni as a whole. And then, of course, there's Crow and Amanda, who at very least may find a little reconciliation between each other by the time all this is over. Although, for the moment, it seems as though Amanda needs more time, and understandably so. We actually get a little note about where Amanda and Crow are, thanks to an intercepted radio transmission. Take a listen to this.
Amanda, I need to talk to you.
What? Before it's too late?
Yes,
Crow, don't.
I thought I'd lost you.
Don't talk to me like that. Look, I know you're sorry. I know it wasn't really you. I want to forgive you. I really do. I tried to pull Crow and Uldren Sov apart.
I tried too. but it wasn't right.
I wish I could see you another way, but I don't. I can't. Not yet.
Tell me what to do, and I'll do it.
It's not like that. I know it ain't fair to you. And maybe I'll feel different someday. But not now.
I understand.
There's tough times ahead of us. We gotta work together. It's like y'all's ghosts always say. Eyes up, Guardian.
Only time will tell what happens in the Season of Defiance, but for now, a more pressing shadow hangs above us. In high orbit, close to the Traveler, lies the pyramid ship of the Witness. It has been degraded by the Traveler's assault. An opening has been perforated on its surface, and within the creeping roots of a structure of something terrible now awaits us. A thing of nightmares. We'll have one last look at what we know about the raid before it goes live tomorrow, and as the raid does go live, you can join myself and Barb on Barb's stream, as it'll be the first time we're playing Root of Nightmares. Our Day 1 team is going to be there. It's not clear if we'll have comms on entirely, and it being a raid stream, we won't necessarily be interacting with the chat a whole bunch, but hopefully you get to go with us as we delve into the experience and face up against whatever menace may be inside the Pyramid of the Witness. But that's all for tomorrow. Today though, if you did enjoy the video, go ahead and leave a like. And remember that you can also subscribe and hit the bell next to subscribe to turn on those email notifications. As per usual, of course though, know that your viewership as always is quite enough for me. And that in the meantime, my name is Byf. Rhodacia ad Astra. I'll see you, Starside.